This movie is shit. This movie's awesome! Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. How was it? Alright. Don't believe all the negativity surrounding this movie. It's not bad. But it could have been a hell of a lot better. Trust me, it could have been. Set immediately after the events of Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman takes place 18 months later. Bruce Wayne, after witnessing the destruction unleashed by Superman's fight with General Zod in the previous film, now has a bit of animosity towards Superman. This animosity is played on by Lex Luthor, or should I say Alexander Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, who manipulates the two to defeat each other to protect the world from what lies beyond in outer space? I'm not gonna lie, Luthor's motivation isn't very well explained. Like, part of it is he plays on people's fear of Superman, as well as the people who love Superman, see him as this protector. But it isn't adequately explained why he really wants Batman to destroy Superman or vice versa. It's just it's just confusing, to be honest. But that isn't to say that the acting is bad, or that the story as a whole is bad. Like, the whole setup of Batman wanting to fight Superman is actually really good, and the setup does make a lot of sense. With Bruce Wayne himself, like, just rushing through the destroyed Metropolis in the very beginning of the movie, and seeing one of his employees actually having his legs crushed by a steel girder. Like, that is some pretty strong imagery right there. And the movie actually goes into a really nice philosophical discussion on whether or not having the ability to act gives you the right to do good, even if you don't have the authority. That is something that the Marvel films have never really touched on, or if they are going to, it's going to be in Civil War. To touch on the acting, everybody here gives great performances. No weak performances whatsoever. Quality of here is because the Batfleck, Ben Affleck as Batman, is good. He makes a good Batman and a good Bruce Wayne. And Jesse Eisenberg as Alexander Luthor, he's actually pretty good. Like, I've had some criticisms that he's basically using the mannerisms of the Joker or being Eisenberg playing Eisenberg, but no, he's actually a pretty nice actor in this role. The best way to describe it is evil Steve Jobs. He's set up as being all trendy and modern, and instead of just wearing straight business suits, he's wearing suede, colourful outfits. So he does come across as an evil supervillain Steve Jobs, which is actually very creative. But I would have to say the weakest performance would have to come from Henry Cavill playing Clark Kent and Superman. It just comes off as a little too bland. But that isn't to say his performance is weak, it's just a little bland for my taste. And oh man, I love how they adapted elements from, like, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns and Superman Doomsday. Like, it was actually just fantastic to see these things brought to life. I mean, okay, granted, the dark tone isn't for everyone, but come on. You gotta know that this is a different beast than the Marvel films. This isn't gonna be all bright and cheerful. This is where things really matter, where the stakes absolutely do matter. And it was nice to see them actually have the balls, like in Amazing Spider-Man 2, to actually follow through with killing a key character. I won't spoil who, but if you've seen the trailers, you know who I'm talking about. Diving on the story again, it's got way too many WTF moments. I mean, a lot of it comes from Snyder trying to be artistic, but why was young Bruce Wayne floating into the air when surrounded by bats? Why did a pearl from his mum's necklace end up in the cave with him after she was shot? Why was there a horse walking around the ruins of Metropolis? What was with that dream sequence? Why is this stuff happening? It can really distract from your overall viewing experience, and well, the movie as a whole really just doesn't engage as well as Man of Steel did. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat with Man of Steel's action sequences. Here, well, I could sit through the entire thing, but I really wasn't as gauged as much as I was with Man of Steel at any point of the movie, which really is a shame. I think part of the reason for that is because the story lacks focus. It tries to give equal billing to both Batman and Superman instead of just, say, focusing on one of them and making the other the B story. But no, it tries to make both their stories the A story and make what Luthor's doing the B story, and it just loses focus. And for anybody out there who was a little worried about Wonder Woman's portrayal in this movie, don't worry, she is fantastic, and Gal Gadot turns out was actually a great choice to play the character. When she shows up for the final fight with Doomsday, oh my god, that is a fantastic fight scene. Like, just to see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman go up against this ever-evolving, ever-changing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle on steroids, it's just fantastic to behold. And she really does hold her own against this monstrous and possibly unstoppable behemoth. Like, I am now genuinely looking forward to the Wonder Woman movie, and you should too. Like, it does have a lot of promise. But this does tie into another weakness for this movie. It feels like it was created just to be a platform to help introduce everybody for the characters that are going to be in the Justice League movie. I mean, there's a scene where we're literally just shown the movie version of The Flash, the movie version of Cyborg, the movie version of Aquaman, and, of course, Wonder Woman's in it. So that really doesn't help things either, particularly with that weird time travel scene that just comes out of nowhere, which adds into the WTF factor. At the end of the day, Batman vs Superman isn't a bad movie, far from it. It's one of the furthest things from a bad movie that you could see. But they could have done so much better than what they actually did put out. I'm hoping that the 3-hour-long MA15 Plus Director's Cut is the better version. Like, in fact, when that comes out, I will be reviewing that, trust me. But for what we got, yeah, it's just underwhelming. Like, the final fight at the end with Doomsday, that does make it all worth sitting through. But depending on whether or not you can sit through its entirety, that's going to depend on person to person. But if you do see it, you are definitely in store for some really creative fight scenes, some wonderfully artistic, over-the-top imagery from director Zack Snyder, and you're actually going to get something that's not really in the Marvel films or hasn't been explored by them yet. But be prepared for something that will underwhelm in a lot of ways. Why aren't you a cool person? You just watched a review of Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. You know what cool people also do? They watch other videos from the same channel, so feel free to check out some of my other movie reviews or maybe one of my game reviews. And if you really like this video, why don't you like, favorite and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon enough.